When people ask, is everything a conspiracy? The answer is yes.
Who and what is controlling everything and why? They practice sorcery. I can't argue against magic.
I don't know what it is that we live on, but I believe it's a realm. This realm that we live in is the lowest level of heaven, highest level of hell.
Chicken snake gods and the Anunnaki and sorcery. If Sam says the chicken snake god is running everything, I'm literally in the world of crazy. I'm winning.
You're losing. Conspiracy Social Club, aka Deep Waters.
All right, let's go.
Listen, I'm with you, dude. And you know what? You know what's so interesting is just like these moments, though we never want to go through them because, you know, you want everything you had, you know, but it's like these are the learning moments, and like what you're going through and what you're learning through that, you're going to pass on to your children how to deal with these super fucking moments. And and it's like, as crazy as it is, dude, where we live, this is what it's all about.
I don't think you want to be in your rocking chair at 90 and think that you never went through some kind of a baptism of fire.
Yeah.
I feel like you know, everyone at 90 should be able to say, I went through a forest fire, everything got burned down, but there were some saplings left. Like, one of the things about destruction is that you realize that what is left standing is beautiful. What is left standing is what is worth holding on to.
You know, everything that's burnt down was meant to get burnt down, and you don't see it.
Yeah,
you don't.
Maybe it was never there in the first place.
Till after.
Maybe it was never there in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, like, right? It's like baptism by fire and stuff like that. Like that everything, expression. Like some things get strengthened through fire and stuff like that, and it's just crazy. But you know, here's the thing, dude. It's just like this place that we live in, we all go through it at one point in our life.
Yeah.
That is the point of it. And if you don't go through, if you haven't been through it, it's probably coming. And it comes 100%. At different points in your life.
It's the human condition, isn't it? It's like, would you rather take advice from somebody who's never been through like insane shit or somebody who's had a really easy life? Who do you want to listen to as you're older? Who do you respect more when you see somebody walk through?
Who do you want to learn how to pick up chicks from? A good-looking guy or an ugly-looking guy, right?
Mark that down.
Right? Ugly-looking dudes pulling ass. Like, how do you do that? It's like Yao Ming teaching you how to play basketball. It's like, unless I'm a 7'6" Asian, you're not helping me right here. Muggsy Bogues, who's like 5'0". How did you do that?
That is such a great analogy. You want to learn that's why you want to learn how to fight or box from the guy who's not athletic.
Yeah.
The guy who won anyway.
Yeah.
Just was fundamentals.
Yeah.
It's so fucking true, dude. It's so fucking true.
It is the truth, and it's like you got to go through. You know, I'm dealing with a lot of this right now. I've talked about this on a couple podcasts I don't even know if we're recording, but I put out this tweet, Bryan, and it was about how like people. I go, you shouldn't, and I hope we haven't talked about this. I can't remember, but I don't think we have. But it's like, you shouldn't be focusing on getting $15 an hour in minimum wage. You should be focusing on how to get out of your minimum wage job.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a good point.
And I took so much shit for that. And I was blown away because they took it as like me looking down on people doing minimum wage. And I'm like, no.
Be inspired, you're saying. Be inspired to make more than that.
And then they're like, not. And every comment was, not all of us can do a podcast and grift on that. That's the new word, by the way.
You and I didn't grift.
Grift.
You and I had a very narrow, like Sam Tripoli and I'm going to include myself in this, had a very narrow skill set. I'm a fucking certified moron. There's no way I could make money.
Dude, I couldn't agree.
I couldn't make money in anything
You are
else.
a moron, but I am
what am I going to make money in? Seriously. I guess you and I can make money in sales, sort of like if we sold cars, maybe.
Bryan, I used to think about that, like when like comedy wasn't going well. And by the way, I'm a grifter that I started comedy at 22 years old. I didn't make money until I was 43 years old.
Right, me too.
43 years old, man. Show me one other thing that you do for fucking 22 years
true.
and not make it and stick with it. True. There's no grifting here.
That's so true, dude. People don't
It's
realize.
inevitability.
It took me so long to be, not only, like, I was lucky enough because I was acting to make money, some money. But as far as like being able to make, first of all, money I could rely on. First of all, and money that where like consistently to get a consistent paycheck, never happened. Not that happened the last 5 years of my career.
Yeah, right.
I'm serious, and I'm 54.
Yeah,
I mean, where I could actually rely on it, and then it all went away again. So it's like you're right. I don't know what else. You know what I think I could have done?
You ever think about that? Like if it, well, I thought, could I be a teacher?
Maybe.
I get like some shit from a kid. I just go into heckle mode and just start destroying everybody, right? Yeah. Your mother's a whore, right? Boom. I'm just, kids are like, oh, Mr. T, you just whooped that ass. Kids crying, I don't know my dad. Right?
They would have loved you. They would have loved you.
Right.
But you would have been in trouble. The problem is you and I would have gotten in trouble. We would have said some off-color shit, or we wouldn't have followed the curriculum because it wouldn't have made sense. As a comic, and I love teachers. I respect the fuck out of teachers. I respect our teachers and stuff. Although I want to talk about that for a second because the shit they're teaching.
Right. Well, it's turned. The shit's turned.
Oh, why? Because
for sure.
Why? Because they're teaching.
But let's stay on this point real quick. Let's stay just because I want to get into people. It's like, listen, man, if you can't talk like we do or stuff, and like some people think we're funny, some people don't. I understand, but it's resonated with a group of people. There's an app called care.com. That is where people nanny, babysit, house clean. There's something called here it's called TaskRabbit. That's where people go, and I'm a handyman. I'm a house cleaner. There's Etsy. I build stuff. I want to sell it. There's Patreon. There's OnlyFans. You can say whatever you want about that. That's still women, some guys taking control of their lives and becoming independent contractors. If you are in a minimum wage job, I understand it. You're trying to you're trying to pay your bills, but you got to understand it's like you're getting paid a certain thing because there's a certain amount of labor and a certain amount of people that could do that job. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's like ascend, man. Get uncomfortable and ascend, okay? Work a million jobs like my mother, my great-grandfather was a victim of the Armenian genocide, okay? The Turks mowed down his family. He escaped, moved to Detroit, figured out a way to sell parking spots on the land that he had purchased to the Ford employees at the Ford car plants. Found a way, got uncomfortable, and ascended.
You know, when you talk about Armenians and you talk about people, like we in this country, we complain a lot, don't we?
Oh, well,
especially white people, especially white woke people who talk about how they're in pain and that they're at risk and they're harmed. You know, this college campus shit. And when my friend who's Armenian, his grandfather, the Turks drew a line on the wall and they lined up anybody over that line, anybody who was taller than that line would go get in the firing line. And those that were not went over here. So, if you haven't been forced to stand under or over a line, and most of the people, these super woke college kids, have never even gone hungry, not for 1 hour.
Yeah.
Not for 1 hour. So, the amount of the amount of complaining and the lack of perspective for the Americans that are actually doing most of the tweeting and the complaining is astonishing.
Yeah.
It's fucking astonishing.
There's a lot of people, Bryan,
perspective. It drives me nuts.
There's a lot of people who want credit for oppression they never went through.
Oh, that's such a good fucking line. They want credit for oppression they never went through.
If I hear another woman talk about, we didn't have the right to vote 50 years ago. You're 20. That didn't apply to you, that's okay? Right. And guess what? You're not voting now. It's statistically proven. Yeah. You're not, unless it's American Idol, you're not fucking voting, man. It's like, what are we talking about here? But you love to use this. It's like, listen, man, I have a lot of Asian friends. I love Asian. Asians are great. But like when the filthy rich Asian movies came out, that Shane Gillis got kind of trapped into this like weird, which I believe, in my humble opinion, was used to promote that movie by making him seem like he was a bad guy, racist against Asians, right? And you know, so this actress in the movie was like, 100 years ago, they used that word to call my ancestors. That's a word they called my ancestors. Yeah, 100 years ago. And now you're getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to act in a movie called Crazy Rich Asians, okay? Like, stop it.
Well, it's a lot of it is just this group kind of like mob, you know, snowball effect that's really hard to fight.
But it's also these people trying to relate to these people, right? It's like these elite, like LeBron does that a lot. Like LeBron's like, man, you don't understand what I've been through. It's like you were 13 driving a Hummer. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like I'm 48, still never drove a Hummer in my life. Never drove a Hummer. Dude was going to high school in a Hummer.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, at the end of the day, it's really interesting because part of the romance of the American story is rags to riches, is struggle. There's no way to avoid. There's no way in general as a human being to avoid. And this is for anybody going through shit. Listen, the thing for sure about you in your life is at one point in your life, like you were saying, I can promise you, there is going to be either at least two things wrong with you. Physically or mentally, you're going to be going through some shit. There's always going to be problems you're having to solve. You're always going to be struggling from one problem to another. You're always going to be longing and wanting for something. There's no doubt. And chances are everything you worked for, the contract you entered into with yourself and with the gods, I'm going to do this and then I'll get rewarded with this. I'm going to work really hard. That contract, I promise you, will be broken. It will be shattered. It will be dashed to the ground. And the existential angst of life, and every philosopher from Nietzsche to Kierkegaard to to Jordan Peterson will tell you that is the test. That is supposed to happen. It is part of the human condition. Now, anyone you admire, and let's just take the definition of a hero. The definition of a hero like Sam Tripoli is this, that you are defined on what you are willing to stand up to. Are you able to face your biggest fear and do it standing, do it with your eyes open, do it and meet that fear halfway. And so Jordan Peterson talks about the sort of every story is about. The hero's journey is really about going into the underworld, going under the castle, facing the giant, facing the dragon, slaying the dragon, and coming out a new person. That is unavoidable. Now, you can avoid it. You can try to avoid it. And you will always be a little bit shamed. You will always be half the person that you could be. Yeah. You will, if you don't tell the truth, and it starts with telling the fucking truth. It really does. Think about it. It starts with telling the truth. It starts with fighting and standing up to things that you don't believe you can beat. It really does. I'm worried that my children are being educated in a way I totally disagree with, that I believe is antithetical to the American experience. I'm not saying Wokeville doesn't have a lot of things to offer. I'm really not, because I think they do actually. And I think my mind is being changed. But there are things coming out of Wokeville, and there are things coming out of the extreme left that scare the fucking shit out of me. And I'm going to stand up to them, and I'm going to fight, and I'm going to voice myself. So, and by the way, a lot of times I read this stuff and I can't sleep because I don't know how to fight it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. The point
Bryan,
is,
here's the
you
thing.
keep fighting.
You're not supposed to fight it. You're supposed to pull yourself, your energy, your fucking, all your stuff out of that shit. This stuff with Dr. Seuss and
That's
Mr.
a good point too,
Potato, all that shit is done to steal your loosh, your energy, and get you so upset about what the world is. People really got to take a look at how much of your problems in your life exist only in social media and on television. How much of your stuff actually that your pain and your suffering is something that you go through face to face.
This is what my girlfriend Kid Dynamite says. She goes,
Kid Dynamite. Yeah, that's the best name for a girlfriend.
Danny Kid Dynamite rating. She says this though. She says the other day, I read the newspaper and I get into a fight. I'm fighting the world, right? Because there's an idea, there's a story that that ruins my day. And she goes, you gotta give up the fight sometimes, dude. Because if you're fighting, you're missing everything in front of you. You're missing your kids. You're missing the great, beautiful day. You're missing the ocean. You're so right, Sam. Sometimes it doesn't mean you give up on your principles. It doesn't mean you give up on telling the truth. It doesn't mean you give up on you keep fortify your philosophy. Yes. Understand. One of the great things that I really think is important to everybody is if you disagree with something, if something doesn't feel right, real thought is fortify that other side. Like actually really look at where they're coming from and really try to understand where they're coming from and build it into a strong fortified base and then argue against it. Don't just dismiss it. Really hear what that side is saying. Like I try to do that with the whole gender thing and all that. I really try to hear what they're saying. I really try to hear what the gender activists are talking about, so I can really understand where they're coming from.
We should have
I can
Pink
respect
Fox
it
on here.
And then fight it.
She is a transgender comedian.
Oh, really?
And she had some issues with a post I put up, which was basically an old cartoon that had been rewritten, but it said, can't drink at 5, can't drive at 5, can't vote at 5. But can totally change your sex? Yeah, 100%.
I love that.
And she took issue with that. And so I'm going to have her on my show, but maybe we could have her on here.
Let's have her on here.
And have her come in and talk about that. Because that to me is, because I am not transphobic. I push back on the trans agenda thing very hard. Like there's this movement by the trans agenda to, do all this stuff when it's just it's what we were talking about. I was saying to you earlier, it's like they're just trying to divide us.
Yeah.
And they do this stuff to get us to fight with each other.
Well, how do you think the media makes money? The media makes money by being gossip queens. The media doesn't give a fuck about the truth. The media just wants your attention. So they make money by creating divisions between Wokeville and MAGAville. It's what I talk about on stage now. That's what they do. They don't give a fuck about they don't care about like the truth or objective news. What they want is clicks. There's money in your attention, sir.
Yeah.
And this is almost like, did you hear that debate?
Can I get into somewhere I think you're really talking about it?
Yeah.
And this is this new thing that, everybody in D.C. is like, dude, there's a threat to the Capitol. It's a threat. There's dude, we got to fortify. And just know that the people who for the last 4 years have told you didn't need a wall and you don't need guns are now surrounded by a wall and tons of fucking guns.
It's true.
Okay? It's like if you can't see it's like Eddie Bravo says, if you can't see it by now, I can't help you. But what they're doing is trying to act like there is an issue of national security. They're false flagging this.
Exactly.
I don't know anybody who wants to storm the Capitol. The people in my genre are all like, fuck politics. We got led again. Let's look inside. Everybody know in the conspiracy world is like turning to spirituality, dude.
Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you this. I might see eye to eye on you on that conspiracy. Yeah, I mean, that's a Democratic conspiracy.
Oh, wow.
I mean, when they were saying there are security threats.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How come it's coming out of you guys?
Yeah.
Really? So, but remember this historically, and here's where I'm going to agree with the conspiracy theorists. Historically, the way you gain control, and the way you silence oppression is you say there are elements over there.
We call it those false
that
flags.
Are terrorists. That they actually are. They want to use violence. So we got to lock this shit down. We got to build a wall around the Capitol.
Yeah.
And you're right. And we need. See, the one thing that Ben Shapiro one time said is liberals love guns.
Yeah.
They love guns as long as they're in the hands of police and army.
Yeah.
As long as they're in the hands of the state.
They don't want cops having guns because they shoot unarmed people, but they want cops having guns to protect them. It's like this weird, dude, the mental gymnastics you got to do.
Do you think that the people responsible for the homeless policy in Los Angeles live in the
Let's go drive to Beverly Hills right now. Show me where the homeless are.
You think that my councilman, I think his name is Mike Bonin.
Where did Black Lives Matter fucking protest? Was it any of it in Beverly Hills?
Some of it.
Like what? Like the bourgeois ones,
well,
the black nerds who play fucking video games.
It wasn't even black people. It was mostly white people.
Like the gamers went through.
Yeah, it's like
we want faster Wi-Fi. We want faster Wi-Fi. It's like, what are we talking about, dude? It's just ridiculous. And it's like, now I'm gonna say something because people like us arguing. I would say most of your attacks that are historic are false flags. That's my opinion. Because they elicit fucking a certain response. Here we go. Now we're in it.
Hold on. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into it.
You came for this and got it. Yeah.
We're going to get into it because I want to touch on something else. But you're saying taxes in general.
No. Most attacks.
Oh, most attacks
are false flags. To elicit a certain, like, oh, we got to lock it down, man. We got to take more of these rights.
Well, certainly historically in a lot of countries, you would create the Čar, the king.
Episode 39. Bryan starts to come to the other side.
The Čar, the king, governments would create, if you want to control the people, you create an existential threat.
Yes.
You create a threat.
Yes.
You exacerbate a threat. You could say that the war on terror.
Yeah.
I can understand why people would say the way you gain control, the way you take people's freedoms away, is by exaggerating the idea that there is a war on terror. And there are people who have written very good books that I've read about, for example, when Al-Qaeda was, when we pushed Al-Qaeda out of Tora Bora in Afghanistan, they went to Pakistan. All of a sudden, all of those guys had already been over the border of Pakistan. Okay, our semi-ally, and like the Haqqani network, etc., and they were being protected by the Pakistani government, like a guy named Osama bin Laden was being protected by the, or was he? Wait, are you telling me Osama bin Laden was a mile away from Pakistan's West Point, the equivalent of their West Point, and they didn't know about it? Is that what you're going to tell me?
No,
no, they're not. No, but how much money did Pakistan get from the United States to fight terrorism? Billions.
Dude.
So
Billions.
So Pakistan went, oh, there's big money in this. We know that they were harboring, especially in Waziristan, which is the Pakistani.
There's a place called Zerostan?
So then what happens? We have this whole war machine in Afghanistan. We have all our special ops guys. We know that Mullah Omar and the Taliban, including Mullah Omar, didn't want to fight the Americans. Not one Taliban guy, not one had ever killed an American at that point. Not one. Okay, they were a regressive regime for sure. But we know repressive. Okay. We know of their own people.
Yes.
We know though.
No, hold on. I just want to say something. Yeah. A lot of what you're talking about, and I'm not saying that the Taliban were good people, but a lot of the like hitting the women, doing all that stuff, a lot of that was part of this fucking war machine tactic of propaganda, so we would be mad at the Taliban, because the truth of the matter is the thing that pissed the U.S. government off the most about the Taliban is that they were burning the poppy fields.
I'm gonna get to that.
Okay.
And I'm glad you brought that up. I'm gonna get to that because, and again, and for anybody who wants to know, I've read probably 10 books on this subject. So
I've watched a lot of YouTube videos.
Yeah. So then what happens is we have this whole war machine there, Sam. Yeah. And the Al-Qaeda's in Pakistan. So what did we do? Yeah. We turned on the Taliban. The Taliban were terrorists too, weren't they?
Yeah.
Now, they hadn't killed one American, but let's turn on them now. We got to do something. We had this whole war machine there. So Mullah Omar is considered now a terrorist. He was harboring Al-Qaeda. So the Taliban, we said to them, turn Al-Qaeda over. They didn't because of Pashtunwali, because of their culture.
Yes.
The idea is when you're an Afghani and you're a Pashtun, your guests are everything. You defend your guests no matter what, and then there was a way to do it if we had asked them in a certain way. But I understand 9/11 was a very emotional time. I was furious. I get it. I'm not. We don't want to do revisionist history here, but the bottom line is that we turned on the Taliban. We waged that war's been going on with the Taliban for, you want to count it, 17 or is it 18 years? You want to know how many trillions of dollars? I don't know, like 11 trillion. Now hold on. This is my conspiracy now. I'm going to give you a conspiracy, and we're probably going to agree. I know from people who were Afghani, who I have had long conversations with, who were there, that yes, the Taliban was a repressive regime. Yes, they were burning the poppy fields. You got to understand that Afghanistan had been through 30 years of civil war.
Yeah.
There was no infrastructure whatsoever. The Taliban came along and they at least for the first time created some semblance of order. I don't agree with them, but there was a semblance of order. Their corruption was actually being tackled. So when you hear people that lived under the Taliban, when you talk about Taliban, we call them Taliban. Talib means student. They were students of the Quran. people in Afghanistan were like, there were tribal elders and there were different clans, as there always have been. Some were more extreme than others.
Yeah.
Yes, there was a criminal
There's
enterprise.
no national loyalty in Afghanistan. It's tribal.
That's right. That's right. There's the Pashtun, there's the Hazara, there's the Tajik. It was all different things. So at the end of the day, man, what's fucking fascinating is we spent probably 11 trillion or more dollars in the Middle East wars. Now wait, when you hear Cornel West, who's very left in my agenda, but I fucking love him, okay? Because Cornel West was like, if you guys are talking about how you don't believe in big government and you don't believe in government programs for the poorest, and we got black neighborhoods that have zero, they got fucking
don't
nothing.
Even get me started.
But you spend that much money on wars overseas, and we have special ops and an intelligent presence in 126 countries or some shit, 126 to fight terrorism. I don't know how many trillions of dollars we spent. So don't tell me if you're on the right and if you're a libertarian, don't fucking tell me that you believe in small government. Don't tell me you believe, if you're a Republican, don't tell me you believe in smaller taxes and small government when you support those wars that have been going on for 20 fucking years, killing countless people. There's no accountability.
Genocide.
It's fucking outrageous. And you're telling me that we're making the world safe? I don't believe you. You are inconsistent philosophically.
Yep.
That's my conspiracy.
Bryan, I couldn't agree more. You're gonna ring the bell.
So that's where we got to tackle that shit. Or you're gonna have people like Sam.
I agree with you. That wasn't really a win. That was more
I went ham, bro. I went fucking ham.
You did, dude. And
I'm a little heated under the collar about this stuff.
Well, it's the truth, man. Because it's like. What we've seen is the international banking cabal hijacking our military, and that basically, in my humble opinion, started with the assassination of JFK, and they took over and turned our military into stormtroopers, man. And we just go around and we curb stomp motherfuckers for bankers' interest.
War is big business.
War is it's big business
for some people.
Yeah, I mean, so Bryan, when we take a look at the 11 trillion dollars that are spent, where does most of that money go? Does it go to the troops? Would people really have a problem if that was actually spent on our personnel? No, it goes to these contracts of these giant military companies who just hoard all this fucking money, dude. And we pay them to make weapons that if we like them, then we pay them again to make more of those weapons. It's like this ridiculous fucking thing. Dude. So I forget the name of the famous podcasting series that dealt into the murder of that Anon and the Asian girl, and then their second season, which wasn't as popular, but I found very interesting, which was about the Afghani guy who basically went AWOL. The U.S. trooper went AWOL, and did he commit treason and stuff like that? But they were describing the base that he was staying in, and it was like a pure shithole. It was like a fence, and it was like he just walked off, and he got captured. By the other side, they kept him alive, and he was eventually given back. And
you're talking about the
Serial. It's called Serial.
Yeah,
right?
That's
so the first one was about Anon.
He got convicted or whatever because he put other troops at risk when they came out to look for him, and some of them got killed.
Right. And I'm not.
What's his
talking
name?
about that.
What the fuck was his name?
But what I'm talking about is we had guys driving through enemy territory in vehicles that weren't ready for fucking road explosions and stuff like that. So where'd all that money go, man? It's like it goes into the pockets of these giant military industrial complexes.
I've had long conversations with friends of mine who I care about a lot, who did a lot of fighting. Some of them were operators, special ops operators. Some of them were just regular guys, and I've had some pretty.
When they were talking, were you just rubbing your
nipples
the whole time?
Yes, I was.
To them going, oh, what was war like?
Yeah, I was fiddling my bean, my man bean.
Oh my God.
I was fiddling my man bean.
Was it hard?
Yeah, my hands were like, and because I was looking at their shoulders, I was like, how much do you bench? But one of the things that we don't talk about is that a lot of these dudes suffered and continue to suffer physical and mental trauma that is very serious, that leads to a lot of suicides and other things. And they did the fighting. And what happens is, after all this time, they come out and they realize that all that sacrifice, all that, stuff that wrecked their lives physically and emotionally, or at least hampered their lives, was for naught, because the country still got the same issues. The problem's still there. And there is this narrative that says we have to keep making the world safe. Fucking, I don't believe you. Now, here's the difference. You might have an idea of a conspiracy, which that you can make the argument for. But I talked to some people. I talked to a dude. Well, actually I talked to a dude and a gal, both of whom were high-level intelligence operatives, or at least they were involved from the beginning. I shouldn't say high-level intelligence. I'm not sure what they did, but I know that they were in those rooms sometimes.
Maybe worked
you know
at
what
the
they
cafeteria?
said? And I said to them, because I had read this conspiracy, sort of this idea of the New American Enterprise Institute, the neocons. Some of them, a lot of them came out of the University of Chicago, and so Paul Wolfowitz and
scumbag,
and Condoleezza Rice and
scumbag.
all these people that came out of and they had created the intellectual architecture to argue for the invasion of Iraq.
Yeah.
Okay, after Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of talk about how they were also pressuring the Bush administration to put a lot of the blame for 9/11 on Iraq.
100%.
Yeah. And so, and I said,
why?
I came to my friend and I said, what about this conspiracy? Because that sounds like a conspiracy. And in some ways, I can believe that I know very intelligent people that embrace that conspiracy. Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's talk about Israel being involved in that. Those people had interest in Israel.
Yeah.
Israel had an
Israeli
interest in taking the
Israelis.
well, I don't know about that, but taking
Those are
the
real.
fourth largest army, which is the Iraqi army, and neutralizing it because it was a threat to Israel.
Yeah.
So I heard all this, and I talked to my two friends, and both of them said,
E-group.
it was funny how they said it, because my one buddy goes, yeah, I mean, he was like, that's maybe a factor. He goes, there was an argument coming from that side. He goes, I think a lot of times this shit just gets it's like a momentum of its own, because there's so much money and so many fucking competing interests that everybody sees opportunity. And you have people who can sell rubber, they can sell weapons, they can sell food. And so all these different individual interests converge like vultures. And before you know it, you have an entire cottage economy built around this quote unquote war effort. And you don't want to lose. I mean, there's a lot of money. Right. So now what happens? Now you have everybody who's got their hand in the pot.
Right.
Of course it makes sense to go to war.
Right.
And of course it makes sense to sustain the war, because
Brian,
everybody's
what you're
paying their
saying
bills
right
on
there
this
is
shit.
a fluffy way of saying the exact same thing I'm doing it. You're looking at more of an optimistic way of like,
Well, I'm looking
hey,
at
everybody wants to make money.
Yeah.
When I'm like, everybody wanted to make money. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Hold on. Do how I do
You're like,
it.
everybody wants to make money. And I'm like, everybody wants to make money.
But it sounds like you're fucking talking right now about you're talking about it was planned ahead of time. I'm saying it's just like bees. It was like flies to shit. It was like the shit was there and all these flies came from all different directions. You don't even know where they come from, because everybody wants a piece of the shit.
Yeah,
Do you think that's possible? Do you think that maybe that's not a conspiracy?
Brian, if you were to ask me, the Florida election of 2000 was rigged because they needed Dick Cheney in the White House. And they rigged it and they flipped it. And I don't know if Al Gore is one of the giant pieces of shits of our time. And
he feels like just a giant pussy.
No, he's a piece of shit. And he was definitely part. He's a what they call a lifelong actor. Okay. And he was part of it. He had a chance to actually open up an investigation. It was very interesting. The Black Caucus of our government wanted to do an investigation of it, and they had enough votes, and they just needed one more vote, and that vote was Al Gore, and he didn't even vote for himself. Right? And now anyways, we're not going to go too deep into that, but, this was planned long ahead. You mentioned that book that was written that talked about how we needed a new Pearl Harbor to change the course of this country and to reestablish our world domination. And, as you know, I've talked about this. The weapons of mass destruction in Iraq was a Stargate that could use a time travel, and that's why they wanted to go in there. So that's
now,
the whole thing about that.
You just hold on, Sam. You went a little too fast over that.
There's a Stargate.
I just heard Stargate and time travel. Now I'm going to have to ask.
Mesopotamia, brother.
I'm gonna have to ask you to
Bryan,
back up.
It's Mesopotamia.
Sam?
Giants. The Archons. Nephilim.
You just lost me.
No, dude.
Sam, you
Bryan,
just
the
lost
world's
me.
fucking crazier than you want. They told you weapons of mass destruction. They didn't tell you it was a fucking Stargate for time travel.
Sam, you're burning hot right now, man.
brother. I'm telling you, dude. That's why they went in there. But this was all planned, dude.
It was planned? Okay, hold that thought. I'm going to go pee because I want it. Because you, okay, hold on. Now we're about to get into conspiracy shit.
Okay.
You say it was planned.
I keep trying to get you, and you keep agreeing with me.
I'm going to make an argument for how it was planned, but it wasn't planned. Okay? I'm going to make an argument for how it was planned, but how it wasn't planned.
Yeah.
Are you ready for that?
That's like I fucked up, but I didn't want to fuck up.
Let me go pee out of my impossibly large
it's
dick.
a pee break.
Yeah.
Guys, while he's peeing, let me tell you something, dude. I want to talk to you guys about all my gigs. Thank you guys who came and saw me in New Jersey. We packed it out. All 4 shows were pretty full. I can't complain. People are wanting to come back. A lot of smoke shows of conspiracies were there. Thank you, ladies. I am going to be at the Float Festival this whole weekend. Anthony, have you ever floated?
On acid?
No. Have you been in a float tank before?
No.
It's the
is that what it really is? It's a comedy festival surrounded by float tanks?
No, but I because I did a float tank for the first time. Then I'm going to a float festival, which is not floating. But I want to ask him if that's kind of why they came up with the name. But yeah, I'm in Texas this week. Then I'm in Kansas City the following week. So we're all cooking with gas here. It's a really good time. And I'm going to be, you can get all the tickets at samtripoli.com. I'm starting to get out there more. I'm enjoying it. Jimmy Florentine gave me a great compliment. He said my hour's ready, so I'm thinking about trying to find someone to shoot an hour.
Where did you go floating at?
I did these guys, my buddies over at Om Life. Go to omlife.com and they're in Jersey City.
Oh, okay.
And it was a great time, dude. An hour of just sensory deprivation. Really get you into your place.
Were you sober?
Yeah, I have been sober for a while.
You don't smoke weed?
Some people microdose. Some people do eat edibles and go in there.
Right.
Yeah, it's fun, dude. I mean, just an hour of do you meditate at all?
I try.
You know,
I don't though.
I'm
not going to say I do. I have tried though.
But sensory deprivation is really good for you, dude. The biggest thing you got to do though is take hey, you got to have you can't just get back to real life after you've done this Zen shit.
You have to go
You kind of
meditate.
got to give yourself an hour or two to ease back into I would turn my phone off and just start dealing with reality right there.
Right.
Then turn your phone off and then let the world just go boom, you know?
Right.
What are you talking about?
I did my first float tank.
Ooh, I've done that.
And I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Because I really need that shit where
Yes.
I just sit there and my buddies over at, om.life.com. Right? No, om.life.com. I went there and I really, really enjoyed it.
Have you ever tried doing an Om class? Try this. But do this 3 times. Watch this. Om.
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 Om. That felt great, dude.
You see how your body resonates?
Have you tried that, dude? Your body starts fucking rocking.
I did that for 1 hour. Let me tell you something about
You
that.
did oming for an hour?
Yeah, I did it in a class. I can't believe I don't do it every day.
Yeah, for an hour? Who's
doing
got an
it
hour to
3
om
times
all
feels
day?
good. Now that's the sound of the universe. Watch. You open, you awake. Now closing of the universe. Day, night, day, afternoon, night, and then after that, there's silence. That's part of the universe too.
I love
Yeah,
it,
dude. Come on, dude.
I'm all about that.
Dude,
There was a Rogan episode that started with him and Duncan Trussell doing that for
Really?
the first 3 or 4 minutes or something. And I remember I was at first I was kind of annoyed because I was just what the fuck are they doing? And then I started doing it in my car on my way to work, and I was like, man, I actually feel better.
feels good, dude.
It does feel good.
It really does. Let's do 10. All right, ready? Do it with me. Ready?
Do 10 of these?
Yeah, ready, you guys? This is
we go.
fucking for you. Ready?
Join us.
And then we're gonna get back into the conspiracy because we need to center before I destroy him because he thinks everything is planned, and I believe it just kind of
Bryan,
it's kind of
you
emergent.
literally think. Listen, I just need you to know that you literally think, instant after instance after instance, things just didn't go these elites' ways who just happen to get what they want and all the money they ever wanted. But they also fucked up at the same time. That's the most amazing fuck up I've ever heard in my life. It's like, oh, dude, I just really fucked up and then I banged all these chicks. It was like the weirdest fuck up of my life. Like, I thought it was going bad. And next thing you know, I was just stacking chicks and hitting holes like I was playing Price is Right Punch Out. It was like unbelievable. That was the worst, greatest fuck up of my life. Every time, Bryan, you think these guys somehow shit the bed and they wake up with a fucking $1 million.
No. Here's what I think. The difference is, I think that people are in positions of power, and then when a crisis happens, they take advantage of it by either exacerbating the crisis, right, or getting involved in helping the
Bryan,
crisis. Does that make sense?
Like something happens and then just one time, and by one time I mean every time, someone's like, hey, we might be able to make money off this every fucking time.
I do think that there is a problem.
God,
I do think
Bryan.
I would agree with you. I'm gonna agree with the conspiracy theorists in this. I actually do believe that the military-industrial complex is, in its own way, whether it's in its own way, we do have a situation in this country and in many countries where war is big business, and where keeping conflict going at all costs is good for your bottom line. If you are, I'm sorry, but if you are an arms dealer, if you are in the business of developing weapons technology, if you're in the business of financing that kind of technology, again, I do agree that you'd have to be a fool not to think that there is a tremendous amount of money in conflict, in war, in perpetuating the idea that terrorists are trying to kill us, like ISIS is, like saying that ISIS is an existential threat to the United States.
Yeah,
when you say
when
that
we're
stuff,
paying them.
Yeah, when you say that stuff, okay, and you drop multi-million-dollar bombs on wherever, that is keeping people employed. And I'm sorry, but I get it.
Do you remember Wolf Blitzer said that one time? They're like, hey, man, we got to like not go. Someone's like complaining about going. I think it was Rand Paul about not going to war with Iran. And literally Wolf Blitzer's like, well, like there's a lot of jobs that come with going to war.
Yeah, well, he's right.
People need the war. I'll fucking smack him.
But I'm glad that Wolf Blitzer said that because he's right.
I'll smack that fucking Dracula-looking dual citizen shit motherfucker.
But the fact that he said it is, it's true. It's like there's big business. There's a lot of fucking jobs and money that go into, like, the idea that people want to go to war with Iran is the most irresponsible shit I've ever heard in my life. It would be a humanitarian crisis, and of course it would kill a fuckload of innocent Iranians. But you know what? They're brown. They're over there.
And let me tell you something, brother. At some point, and people in America need to know this, at some point, the war will come here. It will. There's going to be a time, it's going to be enough of it over there. And, Iran has a fucking pact, a military pact with China and Russia. And that means if someone attacks them, they have to come in on their side.
Yeah.
And these motherfuckers keep trying. And listen, dude. These lizard people, brother, okay? That drink coffee, right?
Hey, wait a minute. I drink coffee, dude.
Listen, these guys, they are going to play both sides of this just like they did in World War II. And okay, where they both were. George Bush's family was funding the Nazis, okay? And
that's not true.
Bryan,
this is
white girl, don't go there. White girl, do not go.
This is where you
there.
get. This is
you
where
don't have to shower right now. Get the car, grab the keys, and drive to safety. Don't shower. Your friends are dead. Don't go there, Bryan. Do not say the Bushes didn't fund the Nazis. It is a historical fact. Please,
the Bush family.
What?
The Bush
girl?
family.
Duh.
Bush.
Go.
The Bush family.
There.
Did not.
White girl, don't go there.
Let's go down this rabbit hole. No, I mean, you had me at industrial military complex. You
Yeah,
had
the
me.
industrial
you had
military
me at that-
complex.
Yeah. And
Prescott Bush funded the Nazis.
Prescott, can you look up Prescott Bush funded the Nazis? The Nazis in when? 1930, 1940? The Nazis were.
What does the year matter?
Well, that's
Go to
when the Nazis
DuckDuckGo,
were.
please.
That's when the Nazis were what they were.
Please,
Prescott
get
Bush.
off of Google. Stop giving them your data. Did
Prescott.
Prescott Bush fund the Nazis?
I mean, are we talking about Nazis in
I'm talking about the
how
Nazis.
Bush's grandfather helped Hitler's rise to power?
There we go,
Rumors.
Bryan.
Hold on.
Bryan. Hey, Bryan, do me a favor.
Let me read.
My
this.
shoulder from carrying the
Hold
show
on.
is a
Wait,
little sore right
go
now.
down, man. Let
Could
me
you
read this.
Please grab the bell. I'd like to ring it.
George Bush's grandfather, late U.S. Senator Prescott Bush, was the director and shareholder, hold on, of companies that profited from their involvement with the financial backers of Nazi Germany.
Hold this bell for me, please. Will you hold it? No, don't ring it. I ring it. You hold it. Hold it. Thank you. There we go. Keep reading. Keep
Hold
reading.
on.
There we go, Bryan.
Hold on.
Bryan's taking L's.
Hold
It
on.
seems like.
Let me read it,
Hey,
you fuck.
You know what? Bryan's
Let me-
taking L's. You know what that means?
Yeah.
It's Monday, everybody.
Hold on. All right. George Bush's grandfather, late U.S. Senator Prescott Bush, was the director and shareholder of companies that profited from their involvement with the financial backers of Nazi Germany. Hold on. The Guardian has obtained confirmation from newly discovered files in the National U.S. National Archives that a firm of which Prescott Bush was a director was involved with the financial architects of Nazism. Hold on.
Okay,
His
bud.
business dealings, which continued until his company assets were seized in 1942 under the Trading with the Enemy Act, has led more than 60 years later to a civil action for damages being brought in Germany against the Bush family by 2 former slave laborers in Auschwitz, and to a hum of pre-election controversy. The evidence has also prompted one former U.S. Nazi war crimes prosecutor to argue that the late senator's action should have been grounds for prosecution for giving aid and comfort to the enemy. Now, okay. Now, hold on. All right.
Take your time, bud.
Okay.
Okay, assess your. Right
now, hold
now,
on.
every fucking thing that Bryan ever believed in is flashing in front of him like this. Right? Yes, fuck. Hey, going. If that's a lie, what else is a lie?
Is
Can
it
I
at
just
least-
say what I'm super impressed with?
What?
Is your wealth of knowledge on almost every single conspiracy theory.
Thank
Just
you.
when I think I've heard it all, you have another one, and then every now and then we can actually pull something up, and it actually is true.
You know what? I'm going to have to take an L on this.
Oh, man.
Fuck,
These are
dude.
my favorite
I got
shows.
just fucking, like, I need some smelling salts, bro. Somebody fucking, where am I? What happened? What happened?
Well,
you know what? I'm
I didn't see
Aljamain
the
Sterling.
punch.
I'm Aljamain Sterling right now. What
No,
happened?
that punch
Oh,
was
yeah.
illegal. That wasn't illegal, my knee.
Dude, I feel like you're being illegal right now.
No, dude.
No, because I
dude.
feel like I should walk away right now.
Yeah, we should just end it on that one.
Damn, I can understand why conspiracy theorists. Damn, I took a fucking hard L.
That was great, Bryan.
Shit, Prescott Bush, you fucking asshole.
You know, I mean, I don't even.
But do you think that George Bush? How does that implicate George Bush in what his grandfather did?
No, not his grandfather, his father.
No. George Bush Jr. George
yeah, well,
Bush
Senior
Yeah, his
Bush,
father,
his
Prescott
dad,
Bush. Yeah, his Prescott.
grandfather.
Yeah. But how does that indict? How does that indict George Bush?
Do you want me to tell you
George
my
W.
opinion on George Bush Jr.?
Yes.
I think George Bush Jr. is a useful idiot.
Yes.
I don't
I
think
agree with you on that.
He is this giant piece of shit. I think
Right.
he's his daddy's boy.
Right.
His father, just like his father's father did to his father, used him, put him in a position, and him and Dick Cheney fucking just ran roughshod, and that's what I think happens. Now,
A lot of
you
people
wanna
say
do
that-
something really crazy. Will you look up George Bush Jr. kids reading 9/11?
Yeah, I saw that.
Have you seen what
Yes.
they say?
No, I want to see that.
Oh, you want to see
Before
what
you
they
say
say,
that,
Bryan,
before you say that,
and you'll ask
would
yourself.
Would you say though? They say that
Yeah,
George
go to
Bush.
where they say what the kids are saying.
But wait,
What is it? Like what? Which one?
Go. What were kids saying in classroom with George Bush on 9/11? See if you can look that up.
Hey, but wait, Sam.
Saying in class.
A lot of people say that George Bush Sr. didn't agree with the invasion of Iraq, which is why he was so quiet through the whole thing.
Brian, that is so cute.
Because he didn't. But wait, he didn't invade. Remember when Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait? Remember how he did not invade Iraq, and there was a lot of talk about him doing that, and he said that wasn't a good idea.
I wouldn't go on MSNBC, dude. See if you can find a video. Go to videos and see if you can find a video of what they were saying.
So you don't think it's possible that George Bush Sr. did not agree with the invasion?
Oh, there it is, dude. There it is. See if you can hear this.
Get ready to read all these words on this page
Can they hear
without
this?
making a mistake. Look at
Ready?
the letter
Listen.
at the end and remember the sound it makes. Get ready. Kite. Yes, kite.
Kite.
Get ready to read this word the fast way. Get ready. Kid. Yes. Sound it out. Get ready. Kid. Sound it out. Get ready. Kid. What word? Kid. Yes, kid. Boys and girls, sound this word out. Get ready. Steel. What word?
Steel.
Yes, steel. Read these
Kite,
words
hit,
the fast
steal.
way. Get ready. Play. Yes, playing. Get
Playing.
ready. Must. Yes, must. Let's read these
Must.
words the fast way without making a mistake. Get ready.
Kite.
Yes, kite. Get ready.
Kick.
Yes, kick. Get ready.
Steal.
Yes, steal. Get ready.
Play.
Yes, playing. Get ready.
Must.
Yes, must.
Okay, stop.
I mean, but Sam,
Brian!
Sam, is this a hidden message?
Brian.
Like, what does that mean?
On the day of 9/11, when a plane flies in to a fucking kid dynamites in the room. When the plane flies in to the fucking building, the kids in the school where George Bush is literally said, kite, hit, plane, steal, must. Come on, dude.
Okay, but what is provided that video is authentic? What does that mean? Are you telling me, like, explain that then as a conspiracy theorist? Is that a hidden message?
Yeah, well, it's
Or is it a fuck you, tongue-in-cheek fuck you to the world, or how does that?
It's just like,
And
yeah.
was the teacher involved in that? Who gave her that list?
Probably they told her, we want you to teach this today.
Who is they, and why would they do that? Do you know what
All
I'm
the
saying?
people standing in that room right there watching.
So they all were involved in this, and they had
somebody,
children,
something from time.
and they compromised.
Dude.
Wait,
You missed him taking
but
big
I
L's.
took an L.
Brian had a moment where he questioned his own reality.
No, it was very good.
Was
But
that the bell that I heard ring outside?
Yeah,
Yes.
that was him holding the bell for me to ring because my shoulders hurt from carrying this show.
no, hold on. But Sam, like, just put yourself in the mind of these. Let's say they're all conspirators, okay?
Right, Brian.
Why in the fuck would they have kids do that? What was that? Some message
Okay,
to the
Brian,
Jesuits?
you don't understand something. It's called sigil magic. Okay, this is the occult. Welcome to the occult, Brian. And the sigil magic is they give clues to you.
Why?
Because it's a karma thing, right? Right? If you don't, they give you clues that shit's about to go down. If you don't stop it, it's on you. So they have no karmic backlash. It's this weird, and you're like, that sounds stupid. Doesn't matter. It's what they believe.
So you should always look for hidden messages.
100%, and you could do it all the time, dude. This guy just had on my show, Oli Demigard. It's called Being Demigard. If you watch a big event, right? So I think it was the school shooting that happened in Florida. There was, which happened first, Florida shooting or the Vegas shooting? I think Florida happened first, right? So there was this weird, like some kind of something was going on where some kids were running around. No, I can't, Brian. This is too much. I can't get into it.
But
with
why
you.
do you
I can't
guys?
tell
Why do you always think everything was planned? You don't believe that there are some crazy people that pick up a gun and shoot a
Brian,
bunch of
I
people?
just told you that I think all attacks, most of them, if not in the 90%, are false flags. I think humans are loving. I think most humans just want to make an honest dollar and feed their family.
But they're also
laugh,
crazy people.
Sing.
They're also crazy people.
Yeah, and those people are fucking lizards, okay? That fucking make money off of our pain and our suffering.
But there also are throughout history.
By the
they've always
way,
been,
for your boy, fucking George Bush, who didn't want to go in Iraq, right?
Yeah.
Just know the day before September 10th. Do you know where he was?
no,
Yeah, New York City. Do you know what he's doing?
no.
He was at the Bilderberg group, and they were celebrating their special guest. Do you know who the special guest was, Brian?
No.
Okay? The Bin Laden family, okay? And guess who was the only people to be able to fly on September 11th?
The Bin Laden.
There we go. Lift the bell up again, please.
Now,
Daddy
hold on.
wants a. Dad's feeling
No,
good.
hold on.
Yeah,
Hold on. To me, so it is
You
your
got, you
contention.
got about 4 minutes to save this.
It's your contention then,
Yes.
that because Prescott Bush
Yes.
was the director of a company that had financial ties to people who are financing the Nazis.
No. You completely and utterly reinterpreted what you read there.
Yeah. What is it?
Prescott Bush ran the company that directly funded the Nazis.
Well,
you
the
added about
Nazis had funding from a lot of places, but they were sympathizers and probably
No, Brian. They were funded. You keep adding layers to this thing.
Yeah.
There's a direct layer. You are Adolf Hitler, okay, and I am Prescott Bush. Let's reenact this. Here is money for your. There you go. I am funding you.
That's very direct. It's very.
That's
so he's
all
just
wet.
giving you.
Yeah, that's all wet. They
And
just did this.
I'm like,
here's
and
your
I'm,
money.
thank you. Yeah. No, I can kill everyone.
Yes,
Yeah.
but you got to be tweaky because he loved tweak.
He was tweaking.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, and he had a mangina. Do you know that about that?
I've not seen any
About
photographic evidence
Hitler
of that.
had a mangina, just had like a weird man dick pussy.
He probably had. There are a lot of theories that
like
these
Harvey
psychopaths
Weinstein.
have very tiny genitalia.
I have 6 inches, so I'm not tiny.
No,
so I'm not a
you're
psychopath.
working with a piece. But my
Thank
thing
you.
is this.
Screen save that as well.
My-
It's listening to you, by the way. Brian, where are you going to be?
Hold on.
Brian, leave. Why you can still walk out, please. Leave. Just tell me where you're gonna be. Lick your
I
wounds,
do
call
think
it
that
a day.
I do think what we've done here is that we have kind of found some common ground.
Yeah.
You went a little crazy.
Which is, I'm
you went a
right
little crazy
and
with the
you're wrong.
Bilderberg group and all that. But we have found some common ground with the fact that there is big money in war. That there are people who profit from war in this country. That
Sexual.
is an organized thing.
Yes.
And that I'm in agreement with that. And if that's conspiracy theory, then I adhere to that conspiracy theory. We have established that Prescott Bush did have something to do. He was one of the people that funded the Nazis.
There we go.
But apparently, when was that common knowledge? When did that actually? Because that came out
When did it
60 years later, right?
no, but it literally just said he was tried for right out the gate.
60 years later, actually. Right? So we didn't know it was happening at the time. It was all
No,
kept
we
hush-hush.
did. Dude, you got to understand something, Brian. When Nazis were first arrived, there was a lot of Nazi sympathizing in Washington, Wall
Yes.
Street,
Yes.
and in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Walt Disney was a straight up Nazi sympathizer.
Yes, there were a
He
lot.
also helped start NASA.
Well, I mean,
Brian, move on.
okay, but
Okay, tell us about your wonderful dates.
I know,
where
but
can
NASA, people
see
who
you
work
talk
at
about your
Nashville.
body.
Well, I'll be in Huntsville, Alabama, which is where a lot of NASA is.
Yeah,
and
that's the
and-
actual real NASA.
yeah.
The one in Houston's just like, look over here,
Well,
guys, check it out.
Okay, but
There's fun stuff
I-
going on.
Hosted by Mickey Mouse.
I don't think that Houston NASA is full of Mickey Mouse sounding Nazis.
Yes, 100%.
You know, the scientists-
Brian,
the scientists that work at
Brian,
NASA-
you know
give
how
me
right
this at
you
least.
are there? You should ring the bell because Mickey Mouse was basically developed for and offered to Hitler for Nazi propaganda. So you totally nailed that. Here, I'll hold it for you.
I'm not ringing it.
Yeah, ring the
I'm not
bell.
ringing it. No, that's too much. You're going too far now. You're telling me that I'm going to be in Huntsville, Alabama, March 25th, 26th, 27th. Omaha, Nebraska. I think there's some tickets left, March 11, 12, 13. Not a lot of tickets, but almost sold out. But Sam, when I'm there, you're telling me that Huntsville, if I went into that NASA place, there'd
If
be
they
a bunch of
still have the
Nazis.
same sound guy that was there when I was there. He's a long, tall dude with long hair.
Oh,
and
great
goatee.
guy. I know him. I think
Ask
Mark.
him about the New World Order in Alabama.
I will.
He'll tell you it all.
All right.
He goes up to me and Eddie. He goes, "You guys got set up to fail." He goes,
I
don't know
like
why
that
they
guy.
would send
I
this
gotta
show
see. I
me."
can't remember his name. I'm gonna give him a shout out because I
Guys,
like that.
I'll be crushing it like I am on the show at the Float Festival, March 10th in Texas. Then the next week, I am at the Comedy Club in Kansas City. And then at the end of the month, I am in Lombard. And then the following, I gotta get these dates up. That's it. I gotta put more dates up. But I'm in Texas again, in Austin. So
So the guy you're talking about is Tom Hand.
Yeah.
Tom Hand, great guy. And I'm telling right now, I gave you a shout out.
No, I gave him a shout out.
No, Sam did.
Sam gave you a shout out.
I'm writing that too.
Last chance to get your white girl shirts.
Why are they?
Because,
We're doing limited edition.
we are. So the colored ones will only be available through the end of this week. And
By the way, we had a wonderful white girl don't go there moment
He
today.
just hit me with a white girl don't go in there and got me.
Yeah.
Got me because I was like, the Bushes did not fund the Nazis. He goes, white girl don't go in there. And I went in there and I got killed. Hold on. Just really quickly. I'm going to start
Bryan,
this.
you're actually got to be honest with you. Lately, you've been getting like out of 100, like comments. You like 4 of them are like you won. So it's getting better for you.
So we just finished the podcast, guys, and white girl got killed. I'm going to admit that I took a fucking. I mean, I got killed in that shower.
Don't add that because then you're giving away stuff that's
Oh yeah,
coming.
that's right.
Don't give it away.
Yeah, edit that out.
Okay, just start it again.
Yeah.
Guys, I gotta go. I love you. I do gotta go.
All right, you gotta
be on
go.
the other side.
All right, buddy.
You're the best, bud. I love you, dude. I love it. I love you. I love it.
That was awesome. That was awesome, dude. You got me on that. I'm gonna read some of the comments now that Sam is gone, and he was awesome. Huge win for Bryan. My God, Sam is delusional. Thank you, DB45. Ryan Costello, best podcast. Look forward to it every week. Keep it up. Yeah. Jordan Smith. Did you guys purposely butcher the names of the fighters at the end? Holy shit, you guys sounded R word. I don't want to retard talking about 259. Sick conspiracy talk, dorks. Curtis Boyce, bro, did you bruh the broski on Brosif? Holy bruh. You whatever. I don't know what the fuck he's saying. How do we get merch? Here's how we get merch. You go to bryancallen.com and we have those white girl don't go there t-shirts and trucker hats and stickers. We got all kinds of stuff. Yeah, Conspiracy Social Club search, which I love. Bryan reads a New York Times article saying exactly what was happening with tech, but then it gets shut down and magically reappears. Then doesn't argue that U.S. funded a counterculture movement, but can't fathom why. Both of you see industry push for certain talents and don't think it's Uncle Sam could fund counterculture. They can help mold and navigate a message through. First, dude, Adam, you got to write where I can read it. I understand what you're saying, but you got to write in better sentences. Oh, Sam Martin, the liver's on the other side, Bryan. Yeah. Dave Chapello, could I get some support from the social club peeps, please? I just love film photography.
Oh, he's just plugging his shit.
You dick.
This guy.
Okay, I'm on 52 minutes now. Sam is shouting. It's brilliant. I love Sam. Callen, please call Sam Daddy because he's teaching you so much. You're going through to the other side. You're going through to the other side. You're going through to the other side. Yeah! All right. Kel Caplet. Bryan won nothing. Sam keeps bringing truth. All right. Schrodinger's dog. Bryan is so committed to bunking that he's blind to the truth. All right. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay. Those were kind of lame. It was fun.
All right.
You see those fights?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Aljamain Sterling got absolutely fucking... That was so fucked.
I think he was losing that fight, though.
He was losing, but that was fucked.
I mean, Peter Yan is, to me, astonishing as a fighter.
He's great, but, dude, it pissed me off at the end when he knows that he did something illegal. He knows that he was losing his title, but he still raised his arm.
Apparently, he looked at his corner and said, should I hit him? And they said yes. So...
Who was his corner?
Well,
was it Khabib?
A guy named Khabib Nurmagomedov. I can never say his name right.
Nurmagomedov.
And then, and so he was told that it was okay. It was a miscommunication. I don't think it made sense for him to do that purpose. He was winning the fight. He was clearly winning that fight. So it made zero sense. The whole thing was crazy.
Right.
But you know what? Very smart for Aljamain. If I was Aljamain, I'm sure he was hurt. And he's a total warrior. But if I'm Aljamain, even if I'm not hurt, I'm not getting up because the payday for the second fight's huge. And he deserves it. He deserves it. He's amazing. And Peter Yan deserves it. Peter Yan.
Yeah.
They both deserve it. They're both incredible.
Yeah.
They're both incredible fighters, man. And I don't think you get better than Peter Yan. I don't think you get better than that guy. I really don't.
In that division, yeah.
I've never seen anything like it.
Thiago Santos versus Alexander Rakic was disappointing. It was very boring.
Yeah, I
It
didn't
was
see
just-
that. That was the only fight I didn't see.
It was the first one on the pay-per-view card, and it was just kind of...
Who won that? Thiago?
No, Rokic won. Or Rochik, or however you say it.
Giant Serb or whatever he is.
Yeah. He won, but just on points. It reminded me a lot of... There was definitely more action than it, but it reminded me of Derek Lewis versus Francis Ngannou.
Yeah.
Where you just have two guys that are just like way too gun-shy.
Yeah, because they if they touch you, you go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think of... so you got Aljamain Sterling. I thought...
Nunes beating Megan Anderson was a given.
I guess it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
She's so big and strong, but she looks so big and strong. I was shocked though.
I always knew that was going to happen. And then Stylebender was, I mean, that was disappointing.
Well, to me, it was a couple things. One, it affirmed Jan Blachowicz technique and power, and his ability to do shit that people. I mean, he's a true champion, but also the fact that look, I mean, Izzy is a 185 pounder. You know, when you get up to 200, that's he. I think he was 201 pounds when he weighed in.
Yeah.
And his frame, if he thinks that, I think everybody knows what would happen if he tried to fight John Jones. He's just too big. Jones is too big. So size is a serious factor in this stuff.
Yep.
You know, and you're getting taken down and you're getting kept on the ground. And there are guys in that division, in the 205 pound division, and certainly in the heavyweight division, where John Jones, you know, is a contender, you know, that can take you down and take your weapons away. Despite sheer will force, they can get you against the cage, win that clinch game, take you down, all that stuff. So I don't know, man. It was, I think it had to have been, to an extent, as great as Izzy is, he's a great 85er. It's just different. It's no shame in it. He's awesome. And he might have won that fight on a given day.
Yeah.
It's not that he couldn't be the 205 pound champion. I just think you see where size, power makes a huge difference.
For sure.
At 20
for
pounds.
sure.
All right, guys, come see me in Huntsville, Alabama.
When people ask, is everything a conspiracy? The answer is yes.
Who and what is controlling everything and why? They practice sorcery. I can't argue against magic.
I don't know what it is that we live on, but I believe it's a realm. This realm that we live in is the lowest level of heaven, highest level of hell.
Chicken snake gods and the Anunnaki and sorcery. If Sam says the chicken and snake god is running everything, I'm literally in the world of crazy. I'm winning.
You're losing. Conspiracy Social Club, aka Deep Waters.